So go ahead and hit enter. And at this point, I now have the clock set. I can do a show command to verify that I have the clock by doing show clock. And we see that the current time is, and of course I'm off by 2 minutes now, 9:34 and 8 seconds, 9:71 milliseconds. UTC, which stands for, it's not Universal Time Clock. It's actually a switched up algorithm, switched up acronym. It's I'll have to look that up. I'll come back and look that up and tell you when I get back on camera. I just found it recently and found that it was one of those acronyms like the OSI, which is French for an organization. And I don't know why, in Europe they decide to do things like this, but they use their acronyms and they change things around. So we'll have to, figure that out. And I can't remember off the top of my head while I'm here, but I just want to continue on. So away we go, and I'll talk about that later. All right, so it's Thursday, December 13th, 2007, as we're filming this right now, and that's our current clock. The better way to actually set time on a device like this is to use a protocol called NTP, or Network Time Protocol, where you can pull the time from your network or from the internet with sites like time.microsoft.com, or here in the United States, you'd use time.nist.gov, which is a site in Boulder, which has an atomic time clock down to a billionth of a second. So usually a good spot to grab your time. If you go to the ICND course and in the CCNP course, we actually talk quite a bit about setting up NTP protocol within that particular course. All right, let me show you a few other things in reference to the command prompt here. I've mentioned history, using history in the command prompt by doing up arrow, down arrow. You can also use control characters to control where the cursor is within the command prompt. So if I hit Control A, that takes me all the way back to the beginning of the line. Notice where the cursor is now sitting. If I can hit Control E, it takes me back to the end of the line. I can hit Control B to go back one character. Usually I use the arrow keys on the keyboard to do that. So back and left and right arrow here. But again, if your arrow keys aren't working for whatever reason, you have a terminal program that is set up incorrectly. I've had issues with HyperTerminal with certain versions of Windows that have issues with the arrow keys. So you can still use those using control functions. So Escape B, Control B. And Control F will go back and forward one character. If you hit Escape and then F, it'll go forward one word. Escape B will go back one word. So I'm hitting Escape and then B. Not like control characters. You hold the control key down and hit a character. In the case of Escape options, you hit Escape, let go, and then hit B. I'm going back one word, right? Or Escape F and going forward, moving it forward. Honestly, even though they show this in the book, I've never used those in practice. Right or left arrow. I use Control A a lot. Control A is one of those things where I'm constantly using it because I'll type a nice long command, realize I didn't like it, and then hit Control A, type no in front of it for a configuration command. It doesn't work on the clock set thing. But I'll type no in front of it, hit enter to remove that command from a configuration prompt, which we're not at a configuration prompt yet. Another thing you can do if you type really long commands, and here I am just going to write instead of using Control E, just holding the arrow key down. If I type a